This was one of my favorite game modes in Night Squad 2. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Digital Gaming Hub. Every Tuesday, we announce our game of the week, a game that we think is really great and recommend checking out. Our game of the week this week is a multiplayer party game called Night Squad 2. Thank you to the team at Chains Awesome Games for the early review copy. Now let's dive in. Night Squad 2 is a follow-up to Night Squad, which is a game that did not get enough recognition in my opinion. Good multiplayer party games are pretty rare, and so when I heard about Night Squad 2, I immediately wanted to check it out and see if this would be my new go-to party game for when friends came over. And it quickly became just that. Something I immediately loved right away was just how customizable the game modes in Night Squad 2 were. Everything from the AI difficulty to items and modifiers. You can really tell that this was built as a party game to be enjoyed the way that you want to enjoy it. There are 13 different types of game modes, and I'm going to touch on every single one briefly, and we'll let you know which ones are my favorites so far, and then at the end I will go into my overall thoughts on the gameplay. We'll start out with Painter mode, and this was one of my favorite game modes in Night Squad 2. In this game mode, your goal is to try and cover as much of the floor in your paint. You do this by walking around the map, but also you want to make sure that you're trying to kill your opponents before they kill you so they don't take over your area that you've painted. I really like this one because there are different approaches on how you can win. I started out by trying to kill enemies and take over their painted space. Then I realized that I could be strategic and go to areas of the map where there were less players to make sure I didn't die while taking over the painted floor. The next game mode is Capture the Grail. This one was also really fun and can get pretty intense because you can take two approaches to it. You can hunt down the person who has the Grail to try and take it from them, or you can wait by the Grail to respawn and hope that you can grab it without getting killed. The whole objective of this game mode is to try and hold on to the Grail for as long as possible or bring it back to your home base to score some points. I really like this one and we had a lot of fun playing in this mode. After that, we tried out Capture the Flag. This is one where you play in teams of 2 and you try and capture the other team's flag. This one is fun because it requires more communication and strategy between teammates or else things get pretty hectic. It was a little confusing in the first playthrough because if the other team has your flag while you're trying to score with their flag, you have to make sure that you kill the team and take back your flag before you can get points for taking their flag. Soccer mode. So soccer mode reminded me of watching the Puppy Bowl. I wouldn't say this was the best game mode, but it definitely was entertaining watching everyone struggle to get the ball into the opponent's net. I think we only ended up scoring one goal, but I mean, that's soccer. Now, Gladiator mode is pretty fun, and there is a bit of a hack to it if you can manage to play as the yellow character. So in Gladiator mode, players have to stay in the area in the middle of the map to gain points. And my wife found out that if she could stand in the corner, she would blend into the gold walls when she was playing as the yellow character. So people wouldn't even realize that she was there gaining points all along. And I think she ended up winning in this game mode. The next game mode is Battle Royale. Battle Royale is a classic last player standing wins type of game mode. And with 4 players and no bots, it's fun to see everyone cautiously start the game by avoiding other players until they get a weapon they want, which is usually the bow and arrow. This one also gets pretty intense because you have to win multiple rounds to win overall. And if people start to see that you're getting pretty close to winning, they'll start to kind of team up on you to make sure that the person who's closest to winning doesn't end up winning. Now, the next game mode is called Juggernaut, and Juggernaut is basically a mad dash to get the weapon called the Pulverizer, and it's tough to beat whoever gets to it first because of how overpowered that weapon is. This one was one of my least favorite modes because of how one-sided it feels, and my cousin really enjoyed it, but it was because he got to the pulverizer first. Now, in Domination, the goal is to take control of as many of the beacons as possible and maintain control by killing the other players. I really enjoyed this one because it felt well balanced. It felt like you needed more strategy and more skill to make sure that you would win this one. Now the next one is Crystal Rush mode. And this one is another gameplay mode that requires teams. And this was probably my favorite of all of the team gameplay modes because of the communication and strategy that's involved between teammates. Do you choose to have someone defend the crystals, or do you go all out and take down the opposite team's crystals as quickly as possible? Now the next game mode I played was Soul Hunter. And Soul Hunter was the 10th game mode that I had played in Night Squad 2, and you would think that by now things would start getting repetitive, but that's the great thing about this game and all the modes. Each one has a different angle or objective that causes you to play them differently, making them feel fresh and new. Soul Hunter, for example, is a mode where you try to kill other players, but then you want to return back to your home base to get points before someone kills you. It makes you want to try and see how many players you can kill before coming back to your home base to get your points. Do you try and get an extra kill, or do you play it safe and come back to your home base? Now this next one is probably my least favorite game mode in Night Squad 2, and that's Race. And again, this is because it seems very one-sided to whoever gets ahead early on. There are bonuses and power-ups that do help you make ground if you're behind early, but these don't seem like enough of a boost to have a fair shot at first place. I will most likely be skipping over this mode in my future gameplays, but I may give it a shot once or twice again. The next game mode is Minion Master. In Minion Master, it's another team-based mode where essentially the ultimate goal is to kill your opponent as many times as possible to build up your minion army. Then you want to make sure to release your army so they break down your opponent's fort. This one was pretty fun, and I could see it getting pretty competitive in local multiplayer. Now, Payload is the 13th and final game mode that I played in Night Squad 2. It's essentially a game of tug of war in reverse. The objective is to get the payload to the enemy's base, and I really like this one better than soccer mode because it feels like it's a more controlled version of that mode, with the objective being getting something over to the opponent's side. So now that we reviewed the different game modes, we'll move on to review the overall game. One of the best things about Night Squad 2 is just how easy it is for anyone, no matter the experience level, to jump in and play. The game modes have objectives that are easy to understand, and the controls are simple enough where you don't have to think of it and can just focus on the strategy instead. I played this game with 4 people that each had, for the most part, varying levels of video game experience, ranging from someone that almost never plays and didn't grow up with video games to someone who plays video games almost every single day. And every single person in our group of friends was able to win in at least one of the game modes. And that right there is the main reason why Night Squad 2 is my new favorite party game. It's not like Mario Kart, where there are players that are almost guaranteed to always get first, Justin. And it's also not a game like Mario Party, where the game will randomly reward players, making it more luck than skill. Night Squad 2 falls perfectly right in the middle. It does require skill, but the skill can be beaten with the right strategy, making it a game that you will want to play over and over again, but more importantly, making it a game that your non-gamer friends will want to play over and over again as well. Night Squad 2 reminded me of back in the day playing Fusion Frenzy because of all the game modes and because of how much fun everyone was having playing it. I would definitely recommend checking out Night Squad 2, especially if you have a group of friends that you're looking to play games with. And even if you don't have a group of friends, there's an online mode where you can find people to play with. And I also jumped into just playing locally by myself, and the AI is pretty good, so that was fun as well. Now that I've given you my thoughts on my favorite new party game, let me know in the comments below if you're going to check it out. Make sure to like and subscribe because that always helps, and share this video with a friend that you want to convince to play this game with you. And as always, go follow me on Twitch because I'm probably streaming right now. That's twitch.tv/Digital Gaming Hub. See you guys in the next video.